say y'all welcome to the tribe table. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's been great. I loved meeting you on the blue carpet. And so we were just like, hey, let's get together and talk and do this whole tribe thing. So you all are busy. You have 3 films between the two of you here at the festival. So let's just do a quick run through of those.
That's great. So together we made a documentary along with director Luis Prieto, who couldn't be here but wishes he were. He's shooting in Spain.
Darn, that's
He's
terrible.
Love
series,
so
just got approved for another season.
Yeah, just got picked up.
He's busy.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
But this is called the Disunited States of America. It's about the 2016 presidential election in the United States, but it's not about politics.
Yeah.
It's about people on all sides of the political spectrum that were putting their hopes and dreams in something bigger than themselves, whether it was for Clinton, Trump, or someone else. Yeah, so, we all have our bubbles that we live in, and this is an opportunity to spend some time with people that are outside of your bubble.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. And you have a second film in the festival.
Yeah, so I've got a short film called Lunch Ladies, which was written by a screenwriter named Clarissa Jacobson, who was also a producer, first-time producer on this movie. She'd never worked on a movie before, and she produced this almost single-handedly. Did an incredible job, and is really one of the kindest, most sensitive producers I've ever worked with. She's really, really wonderful writer. And so I directed, and it's about 2 crazy lunch ladies that are obsessed with Johnny Depp and go through some kind of extraordinary measures in order to become his personal chefs.
Awesome.
So it's a horror comedy. It has nothing to do with politics or Disunited.
But it's hilarious. It's so funny. You did such a good job directing it. It's you've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, you guys have to mix it up. Keep you busy.
We ran into one of the festival programmers yesterday, actually, and she said, "What film did you do?" And Josh said, "Lunch Ladies." And she hit the ground. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I love that movie!"
It was the best reaction ever.
She was hyperventilating.
She was in memory land. She was just laughing.
It was the contrast, because before it's super cool, and then immediately
yeah,
hit
she's
the
really
ground.
understanding.
Yeah.
I love it. That's so cool. That's good. I'm excited to see it. I hope. We'll talk about all your hopes and dreams for these movies in a little bit. So the third film is...
Yeah, I produced a film called The Matchmaker. It's in the Shorts competition program, Shorts 2. And it's a story about older women. Because older women's stories are important and they deserve to be listened to. And it's about Alzheimer's. And we decided to take a really serious subject like Alzheimer's and kind of turn it on its head, because everyone has had some experience with memory issues, right? You have someone in your family.
I have them right now. I'm like, what was that film you did? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm kidding.
Where did I leave my glasses? But there are really funny and lighthearted moments too. For instance, my grandfather had Alzheimer's, and I got to tell him that I was engaged 15 times, and he was equally excited every single
time.
Yeah. So in this case, it was directed by Leonore Pitts, who's an incredible female director. She was wonderful, and she pulled together a really great cast with the rest of the team, like Rhea Perlman. Yeah, right. And Barbara Bain. Anyone that saw the original Mission Impossible series, she was the lead.
Yes.
And Robert Romanus, who was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he played Damone.
Love it.
And then we have some other amazing newcomers that are unbelievable actresses. And Cy Rosen, our writer, he's a TV legend. He wrote on all the seasons of The Wonder Years. He wrote on The Jeffersons. He wrote on Taxi. He wrote on, the list, I couldn't list all of them right now because my memory's not good enough. But he wrote this story about his mom and his relationship with his mom and how he was afraid that she was catching Alzheimer's from her best friend, which is crazy because you cannot catch Alzheimer's.
No.
But,
so
it's very
I
funny.
love every single one of these films, and so I will say that we've got a huge list of films at the Bentonville Film Festival this year, and so we kind of do this culling of focus areas and send our list to PR, and it was your film that caught my eye first. Because it seems like such a tribe of human story, and just kind of, this coming together. It also seemed like a real more good men story, because one of the things that we talk about a lot within the context of Tribe of Women is the role of men, and the fact that we need more examples of good men in the media to follow, because men have stereotypes. Men live in a box of don't cry, suck it up, be a man. I mean, all of these things, and don't leave work and go, take your kids to the ballpark in the afternoon. Paternity leave has only become a thing in very recent past. So that's really important to us to when we're talking about seeing more women in media. What good men are we seeing in media as well? So when I met you guys, I was like, hey, those are some good men.
Stop it!
Those are some good men.
I really feel so honored to be included in the Tribe of Women.
Yes,
and that's one thing we've got that we were just talking about with Wendy, who's one of the heads of the festival. It feels like Bentonville's a newer festival.
Yeah.
It's the 4th year, and it's such an incredible organization of people. And we were sitting in that filmmakers lunch we were just at, and we were surrounded by people that had disabilities, and we were surrounded by different races and cultures, and clearly religions and genders, and it was
different countries, people from all over the world.
Totally, and it was wonderful being able to have that conversation, and we feel very aware and proud to be allies, and we're aware that a lot of that job is to listen. And a lot of that job is to meet other incredible filmmakers that are not white men, and work with them in whatever way we can to help tell their stories, or to bring them on to tell our stories. And eventually they'll be parodied and it won't have to be as much of a focus, but right now it's a little extra awareness.
The best part about filmmaking is that it is a collaborative art form. It takes everybody working on the movie in order to make the movie and to tell the best version of whatever story it is that you're telling. And the people at the top help focus and shape it, but it is everyone's art all coming together, and that includes everybody. And we were talking about on Disunited, like when we hired our DPs, we had a female DP. We didn't hire her because she was a girl. We hired her because she was a killer DP.
She was the best person for the job.
She was the best person for the job.
Which we had Sky in here, and she's a DP, and she was talking about what a minority women are in that. In the industry, but also in that field specifically. And reaching out, and you also talked about in the Lunch Ladies the culture that was kind of manifested with women leadership.
Definitely,
and that was a little bit different than what you had experienced before.
I mean, Clarissa was the driving force behind it, and so she generated the project from the ground up. She centered it on 2 middle-aged women, which are not necessarily the most obvious people to start with as leads in a film. In fact, the original director that she had for it said that she couldn't make it because no one was interested in 2 middle-aged female leads.
Wait, have they not seen Grace and Frankie? I mean,
fried tomatoes.
Keep on going.
There's a million other things you could like. It was just such a shallow example, and she believed him, and she just so she felt really sad about it for a while. But for me, I don't care if they're male or female. For me, it was just they are amazing characters, and I wanted to help tell their story. So, and then we had, from Clarissa, we had Jessica Janos, who is our line producer, Shayna Weber, who was another one of our producers and helped Clarissa a lot in the development. So we had a lot of women on the crew, and half of our production designer team, husband-wife team, Alicia and Ray Ho, were both, they're husband-wife, and she's a force of nature. She's amazing. And that contribution to the film is incalculable.
Yeah, it is. And who better to tell women's stories than women? Having lived it and, been around a little while.
I got to pitch one other thing that I'm working on right now because I'm super excited about it. You were talking about the role or the way that men are in boxes as well. They're not allowed to cry. They're not allowed to. I brought a box of Kleenex yesterday to a particular screening because I knew that Mr. Connolly Has ALS was going to make me cry.
Yes.
And it did, again. But I love musical theater also. I'm a big musical nut, and I'm actually on the producing team for a show that's going to be going to Broadway soon called Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion, the musical.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
We did our out-of-town tryout in
Mean
Seattle.
Girls is a musical,
Yeah.
now Romy and Michelle, my life is made.
It's the original writer, and the director is the director of Rock of Ages. Her name's Kristen Henge. Heavily female team.
That's awesome.
And it's about the thing that makes you weird in high school is what makes you cool when you're an adult. And it's about female empowerment. And
I love it.
and so I think that any way we can bring these stories like Lunch Ladies or Matchmaker or Disunited or Romy and Michelle to a greater audience is a positive thing.
Well, and Disunited States of America is kind of getting to that in its the more serious conversation, and obviously you guys lightened it up with these smaller projects in the meantime. But it's the more serious, strive to be tribe of human, and kind of the process that we're going through right now, and the way that you approached it seems to me the way that we need to approach things just as people, which is to listen.
Yeah.
And to listen to everyone and to see each other as people, as humans in the world, as opposed to, sides of a political party. So
validating someone else's experience, I think, is the most important human value that we can focus on right now. And just saying, like, I don't understand where you're coming from. In fact, I may even disagree with it, but I'm going to listen to you and validate at least that you have that experience, even if you don't disagree with it, instead of just saying, no, you're wrong, sorry, you're stupid.
Yes.
It's
saying, I
the
hear
most
you.
damaging thing. Like, even if you disagree, even if you don't want to listen anymore, at least acknowledge that you've listened once. You've allowed it to get into you at least a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And we're in a culture now where, we were struck by this during the election. It's so, and I get it, we're in the media and we want eyeballs.
Yeah.
But we're in a time where things are sensationalized and you get the kind of surface level
Just
stuff.
the headline.
Mhm.
Don't even read the article. Yeah.
So we searched for those people that were being sensationalized and we tried to unsensationalize them. So one of our core characters in the film is this guy, Daryl, incredible guy. He's a biker for Trump. And I don't know if you remember during the Republican convention, there were all these news stories about, the bikers for Trump, they're going to be terrorists, they're going to bomb the place, they're going to shoot everyone up. So we went and met them and we found someone that loves his family, whose family adores him, that cares deeply about this country. And
he raised 2 children by himself, had an absent mother. His children adore him. His grandchildren adore him. Like, in the film, you can see his grandchild, his 2-year-old grandkid, running up to him and so excited, just grabbing onto his leg. Like, the amount of love that's in that family is amazing.
Yeah.
And, we may think that he's a completely uninformed buffoon, but the reality is he's living a very valid, productive life, and he's contributing to real humanity.
And on the other side of that, we have an incredible woman named Patricia, and Patricia works for Planned Parenthood, and she also deeply cares about the country, and she's a single mother. She's raising her incredible son, and she has a set of problems that are not so dissimilar to Daryl's, actually.
Yeah.
And they both have their experiences don't diminish the other person's experience.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. One of the things when we've talked about it through the festival is kind of, social media in general has disconnected people in a lot of ways. And I think that, part of the goal for a lot of people is to reconnect. So that's the great part about your film, is that you're trying to reconnect people and see each other as the people that we are, the whole people, not just the flashes of people or the stereotyped people that we are.
You just hit the nail on the head in terms of like our goals for this, because we want people to have challenging and uncomfortable conversations, and certainly all of us have family members that disagree with us politically, and we have found that this film has allowed conversations to begin, just a starting place, so that you can say, like the great Justice Scalia, who, whether you like him or don't like him, one interesting thing about him is incredibly right wing. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is pretty far left wing, and they were best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And when asked, how how are you guys friends?
We do this.
Scalia answered, it's easy. I have a lot of really good friends with really bad ideas. And so that's what we're trying to do with this film is facilitate conversations that say, look, I want to hear what you have to say, and I want to be able to talk to you about what I think without saying you're a bad person.
Yeah, exactly.
No one can have a productive conversation when they're angry.
Right.
Like we experience that in our daily lives. You know, if we get into a fight with our partner or whatever, like you can't.
Take a breath.
Yeah, you have to step back away from it so that you can come back to a rational state of mind. And so many people will just go straight to anger because they know that they're going to disagree with it. And you know, I've had conversations with liberal friends of mine in California, and you know, I'm not really staunchly Democratic or Republican or anything, but. You know, I'll have conversations with these people that are really into the liberal point of view and hate Trump and hate all the voters and like just say, you know, I see one of those Trump voters and I just can't even talk. I can't even look at them. They're just so terrible. And I'm like, you're the problem.
Good. Good for you.
You're the person that is holding us back from continuing a conversation, because when you call that person stupid, that person gets angry, and that person is not going to want to talk to you back. And I'm not saying that it's the liberals' fault. This conversation, it's everybody's fault. But you know, the people that feel like they are really informed and really educated, and all those people are also part of the problem.
Yes.
And drawing a line, or you know, having California secede from the union is not the answer. It's not how we get there.
Exactly. I feel like we talk a lot about, so we have 3 pillars of tribe, and they are I see you, I hear you, and I feel you. And that path is first seeing each other, which is what your film gets to help people see each other for who they are. And then the I hear you is that sharing stories, relationship building, having those conversations, and then the I feel you is because when we connect in our stories. So that the stories that you told were exactly that connection point. You could see how both sides, people from Trump or for Hillary, had so much in common. And when we were able to tell each other those stories, we're like, oh, okay. I get you. And then we act from that point, that place of empathy. So consciousness, empathy, conversation are all of the things, and I love that they're renewing themes in our conversations here at Bentonville Film Festival.
Oh, me too. And by the way, you know how we know we did it right? We showed the film to all of our subjects, everyone in the film, and all of them feel like they were fairly represented.
Good.
Jesse was actually texting them pictures from the screening. He was taking pictures of them on the screening and sending them pictures of themselves on the movie screen.
And all of them were asking me how I was doing, and once again, from our undocumented immigrant to our biker for Trump to our gun store owner in North Carolina to, I like all of them as human beings.
Exactly. Well, this is awesome. So where are you in the festival circuit of your films? I'm sure that not every single festival you go to has all 3 films. You guys just totally lucked out.
Lucked out that it's an amazing festival.
First time for that.
Yeah. Why don't you go first with Lunch Ladies?
Where are we with?
Where are you in the circuit?
Well, Lunch Ladies has been an amazing experience. I've worked in movies for a really long time, and I've never had any kind of project that seems to resonate. Where
somebody their face changes when they hear that.
It's been so awesome. And when Clarissa and I got together, I have a history in makeup effects, so I've worked in horror movies. And so I know the horror audience, or because I am the horror audience. I represent those people inside myself. And when I read the script, I just went, this is perfect. Horror fans love this kind of comedy. Comedy that both gives them something, nods to them specifically, that celebrates so many different aspects of horror and everything else related to it, with Tim Burton movies, Johnny Depp movies, and all that stuff kind of all rolled into one. So it was really exciting to get to do it just in general. And Clarissa was so great, and I just got to do working with her. I got to do pretty much everything I wanted to do. So awesome. And the score is incredible. Tony's score is just out of this world, and it was such a great experience. But then to release it into the world, and we started with Holly Shorts last summer. But since then, we've been accepted into 40-something festivals. It's played all over the world, almost every country.
You went to France?
I got to go to Clermont-Ferrand, which was one of my second favorite festival. And it's just been it's been so much fun to see just people laugh at these crazy ladies. So Clarissa actually adapted the short film script from a feature script. So she's got a feature that's right behind it. So if people are digging this, then hopefully someone will come to the table for the feature. So that's kind of where that's going. But
I like that plan. Good. Yeah, shorts are hard to find just outside of festival circuits.
Except outside of North America, as I discovered in Clermont-Ferrand. It's a huge industry. Europe and the rest of the world love short films, celebrate short films as an art form. And that was my favorite part about going to Europe, is just to see people that just love short films. Like, every theater at Clermont-Ferrand is packed. Like, they turned away people, sold out showings every single screening, and this is like dozens and dozens of screenings. Mostly locals, just showing up with their programs so that they can write what they liked and what they didn't like about the short film. Like, it's a really vibrant community outside of North America.
Well, we'll catch up eventually. Sometimes we do that.
Sometimes.
It's the Western culture. We kind of catch up with everybody else eventually.
The Matchmaker is pretty early in its festival run. We just started playing. Our premiere was in January at the Dam Short Film Festival outside the Hoover Dam. We won, which was very cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you. Not bad for our first.
That's great.
And then we played in Hollywood. We played in actually yesterday while we were playing here at Bentonville. We were also playing at Newport Beach Film Festival.
Good.
We just got into a festival in Oregon, so
Just divide and conquer.
we're just starting, and it's been really great. Reception has been positive. We got a distribution offer. We're holding on to it for now. We're still open to other distribution offers. Hello, whoever is. We're looking for the right. We want to spread it to as wide of an audience as possible, and we want to find the right team to do that. And then the Disunited States, we actually screened already in Italy, because Sky TV Italy were our partners.
How was that? How interesting was that to do it in another country? I mean, we just
It was on TV, so millions of people
It
saw
got
it.
broadcast on all 3 Sky networks all over Italy.
That is awesome.
Around the time of the inauguration in 2017.
And then this year, the
And then
anniversary.
this year again,
A lot of press on it, and very positive reaction.
Huge theatrical premiere, and we got written up in every major newspaper, like front page, entertainment sections, all in Italian. And they tell me the reviews were good.
Yes.
I only told you the good reviews.
I ran it through Google. No, we have 32 pieces of press or whatever that are in a giant packet that I definitely spent too much time looking at Google Translate, and they really liked it. They're fascinated by America. But we would love to have it play to a bigger American audience, and we've had challenges with this film because the way that it's been framed in Italy is different than the way that we're framing it here. They're interested in Trump's America. What is it? And that's not what the film is. And we're really interested in this nuanced conversation. And so finding the right strategic partners has been a challenge.
And also we've had, because Trump's organization provides us with such a continuous stream of flashy new headlines. For the last year, everyone's just sick of hearing about the 2016 election. Like every time you hear about it, it's like, 2016 election, and people are just like, we're so sick of it.
Which I get. I get it.
I'm sick of it too.
I get it. But this is not about the election.
Exactly. It's not about the election. It's about a time capsule of American culture leading up to the election. In the most polarized time our country's ever seen. So we're trying to figure out how to get over that hump and figure out how to show people that it's not about politics.
And what's great is every time we have an audience screening, like the reaction is unbelievable.
I was wondering kind of what the audience is interacting with you when you're there with them and get to talk to them.
Every single time, people are like this at the end. And then we have these great, sometimes hour-long conversations about, where the characters are now, and where the subjects, not characters, and where the follow-up, and what was it like to get to know everybody. They really like that? The answer is yes. And so we think that with the right partner, it would be incredible to be in the U.S. We'd really love that.
Well, we'd love that too. Hey, thank you for bringing it to the table, and the issue. I love how you mixed it up. So you've got some serious stuff, some fun stuff. That's life, right?
That's life.
And bringing your humor humor and your good manness to the table.
Good madness.
Your good
Wow.
madness.
I'm going to carry that one.
I'm gonna put it on a business card. Be like,
Hashtag
Jesse Einstein.
good madness.
I have good madness.
I love it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for-
Sometimes I need to unplug. Sometimes I've got to reboot. Sometimes I just want to sleep. But I always want to connect with you. Get into Brew Moods, aromatherapy lotions powered by a mindfulness app.